All right, backyard wrestling fans, it is your host of the FBW Undisputable podcast, the Messiah of the Yard, Anthony Aries. And on the 9th episode of this podcast, yes, it's been a while, I know. Don't hate on me, but we are back for the podcast. And on today's episode, we got my man CJ over from Legendary Backyard Wrestling. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
So, let's see, where are we going to start this? So, when did you start backyard wrestling? Because many fans over here on FBW may not know anything about you or your company. So when did you start backyard wrestling?
So I started in July 2020, actually.
Oh shit, it's not that long ago.
Nope, pretty new.
Oh shit. So let's take it way back to the beginning, because everybody in backyard wrestling starts off as like a pro wrestling fan. So when did you get into professional wrestling?
Oh boy, that's a tough question. I'd say I think I was about 7 or 8 years old, for sure.
7 or 8 years old. How old are you now?
I am 22.
Oh shit! So a very long time ago. So
Wait.
so when you first so you started off watching WWE or?
Yep. I started watching WWE. A buddy of mine I went to school with at the time, he was very big into WWE, and I didn't exactly. I mean, I kind of knew what it was, but I wasn't familiar with it or anything like that. And he was a really big fan of John Cena. And so he was telling me one day, we were at school waiting in the lunch line. He was telling me about it, and it was a Monday. And he's like, "It's on tonight. You should watch it. It's on the USA Network." Blah blah blah. I was like, "All right, whatever, sure, why not? I'll give it a check." And so I flipped on Raw, and sure shit, there's John Cena and a Big Show and DX and fucking just all them guys. And yeah, I was hooked immediately.
Oh shit! So
Yeah.
growing up when you first started watching wrestling, so who were some of your favorite wrestlers besides John Cena? Because I mean, it's clear you got a lot of John Cena in your character, which we'll talk about that. But who else besides John Cena, did you like growing up?
So yeah, like you said, obviously John Cena is the number one guy. So as wrestling was going on live, I was big fans of. I liked DX, the because I didn't know at the time the older version. So I like DX. I like what they were doing. I thought they were great. I thought they were funny. Definitely appealed to my age group at the time, which is, definitely what they were going for. So that was great. I loved Randy. I thought Randy Orton was fantastic. I mean, I don't know who doesn't love Randy,
Yo, Randy's the goat.
right? Like, there's people who love John Cena, and then there's clearly people who don't love John Cena. But I don't think I actually really met very many people who love pro wrestling and who hate Randy Orton.
Yo, the stuff that he's doing now, and like, if you look at Randy Orton, he's the only one from like the class of guys that he like came up with. He's still there full time,
Yeah, yep,
and he hasn't
definitely.
really took any time off to do anything besides like him being injured. But yeah, no, Randy's underrated. He needs more appreciation, which
Oh,
I think now the fans are starting to like really appreciate him now, because like he's over. Like, I don't know if you know,
yeah.
dude, he's over as hell.
Fuck yeah, he is, dude. Dude, he's killing it, man. I think since I want to say since 2015, probably, and he's had some good runs in between there. I think this is his best shit since then.
No, for sure, for sure. So you get into professional wrestling. You growing up loving John Cena. So from the time you started, what do you call it? From the time you started watching pro wrestling, um, before you actually started Legendary Backyard Wrestling, did it cross your mind before starting Legendary that you actually thought about backyard wrestling, or?
Yeah, actually, so it kind of ties in with my same buddy that got me into watching WWE. When we were kids, we grew up in a small town in Mobridge, South Dakota. I've been back and forth. I've had a lot of family issues, and I've been back and forth in between North Dakota and South Dakota a lot. And I think I've had basically half of my life in each state, with the exception of a year in Colorado. Um, and so when I was in South Dakota, me and my buddies, when we were little kids, we always, like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if, we could do like some wrestling on a trampoline? But none of us had a trampoline. None of us had any friends who had a trampoline. So legitimately, what we would always do, and we're like, I don't know, 8, 9 years old at the times, and then even we thought about this too when we were about 12 or 13. We always talked about it, and so what we would do is we'd stay at my buddy's house, and we'd stack his bed with a couple other mattresses, and then we'd put pillows around the bed, and we would just fucking get up there, and we'd start like 3, 4 of us. We'd just start like wrestling, and then first to throw each other off the bed wins, like shit like that. And
I mean,
then
who doesn't do that when they're little?
right, like it's just it's fun. And then eventually, one of my buddies finally got a trampoline, and all we could think about is, oh, this is it. This is it. This can really happen.
So is that buddy
So,
still in? Is that buddy in legendary back wrestling or?
unfortunately, not. He's in college right now in the Black Hills.
So he sold out, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you know it,
So before
motherfucker.
so before you started legendary, um, have you ever seen or heard of backyard wrestling, or it was kind of just you haven't really
Uh,
heard about it and you just started doing it?
the older days of backyard wrestling, definitely, like the '90s when that shit was popping. Yeah, I was seeing shit like that all over YouTube and knew about it. But all the stuff that goes on now, whether it's in the backyard wrestling nexus or it's not,
It's all new
I
too.
had no idea about that until I started. Yep.
All right. So let's talk about the beginnings of legendary backyard wrestling. Was it always called legendary backyard wrestling?
No, it was just called backyard wrestling. We called ourselves BYW. Um, but then after, I think it was about a year in, is when I met you guys
Yeah.
and everyone in the Nexus. And then that was when I found out that backyard wrestling, or BYW, was literally just a broad term. And I was like, oh shit,
Yeah,
you know what?
I remember coming across you guys, and it was just weird that you guys just called yourself backyard wrestling. You didn't have
Yeah.
no like catchy
Yep.
So why
And
didn't
like I said, that was all new to me. So I had no idea.
so that's why you didn't create like a custom like extreme championship backyard wrestling or some name like that.
Yep, for sure. Exactly.
So when and how did your company uh come into creation?
So obviously when the pandemic happened, and literally nothing was open. Like there was nothing you could do. I mean, we could go to the river, the parks, stuff like that, but there was no businesses, there was nothing open. And so it just gave us an idea. I had just like before, literally about a week before we started this company, I had bought a trampoline, and I've been trying to find a trampoline all summer that year, and I couldn't find one for a reasonable price because it was nuts how expensive they were around that time.
Trampolines low key, they're hella expensive.
Right? Like it's like Jesus Christ. All right, I don't have that kind of money, so I can't get that. um, but we finally got one, and then like a week later, I was like, well, you know what? We got nothing else better to do. What if we start up a backyard wrestling thing? That's something I always wanted to do. And so sure shit, we did. I had a like 2 replicas at the time, and I was like, well, we got a trampoline, we got a few people, and we have replica belts. See what we can get, and the rest is history.
Nice, nice. So you started legendary backyard wrestling at the time, just called backyard wrestling. So let's talk about your character. So you just use your real name, and your little nickname is the Alpha. So clearly it has some John Cena, traits in there. But talk to us about how you created your persona, the Alpha.
So It's kind of in the same sequence in the beginning where, like I said, I wasn't exactly familiar with a bunch of other Beckett wrestling companies, and I didn't exactly know how to run one at the time. I just, let's do this, and then that's that, and then another match, and then that's that, and then whatever. So there was really no storytelling. There was really no nothing.
Just exhibition matches type deal.
Pretty much. And so, like, yeah, it was my name. I didn't really think of a character. I didn't really have nothing. But then as we got more into it, and yeah, I was like, all right, we need to spice this up. We need to start doing storylines. We need to start making things count, making things matter, this and that. I started thinking, like, you know what? I should do something to where, because at the time I just so happened to have an undefeated record in the company. And I was like, well, maybe what I could do is I could be this annoying, not exactly a heelish character, but just somebody that nobody liked.
Just like a cocky type dude.
Pretty much. And that's why I would beat everyone. I would win. And everyone's like, oh, again, like, what a fucking guy.
Big
And
match John.
yeah, and so that's just how it started off. And then we had a guy actually, a guy in our roster. His name was Aiden. He actually um, broke his foot, not during wrestling. He broke his foot, and he was out of action for about 3 months. And he wasn't on TV at all for those 3 months, LBW TV. And so I was thinking, I was like, this is perfect. We can have him come back, and I'll put him over, and that'll make him a bigger star. And that's exactly what happened. He came back, and then very soon he was the freaking world champion for a minute.
So, Legendary Beckett Wrestling is your company. Now, do you book Legendary by yourself, or do you got like a creative team, or how does that go?
Uh, Say that one more time. Sorry.
So Legendary is your company, right? So
Yep.
you book Legendary by yourself, or do you is it like a
Oh,
group effort, or
so yeah, in the beginning, it was pretty much just me. Like, yeah, I was coming up with this and that, trying to make it look good, trying to make it work. And then in the recent months, I've pulled everyone aside, had like a few group meetings, and I was like, hey, so this is what we're going to do. I said, just so that it seems more fair for everyone. And, however, I said, I'm going to put each and every one of you guys in charge of your own character, your own story arc. And whenever you guys have matches, it's completely up to you on who wins. I want no control over it because it's actually very stressful. I'm sure you understand.
oh yeah, I book FBW and all that by myself, but
Right.
I mean I don't know. I mean my people would not do good at booking, to be honest. But I mean that's cool. You give your guys creative control. I mean my people on my roster. I mean they got creative control to an extent. I mean really the only
Right.
person who really values that and cares about it is Chris Dynamite. I know
Sure.
my girl Ruby and Jared Payne and stuff. They just whatever I say, like they just trust my vision. But
Right.
um, yeah. So your character has a lot of John Cena in it, right? So growing up, what made you just gravitate towards John Cena?
How fucking cool he was. How cool he was, how strong he was, how confident he was. I always admired that. I thought he had the best theme song. Um, I think he still got one of the top theme songs. Maybe not the best, but it's fucking up there.
Come on, who
He always
who
had the
doesn't know
cool
all the rap
shirts.
words and stuff?
Yeah, right. And the cool shirts and everything. And then that's just all what gravitated towards me. And then I actually got a bunch of old WEDVs one time from what was it, a yard sale, and it was like a bunch of like 2003, 2005 kind of pay per views, like basically the beginning of the ruthless aggression era. And so that was Thugonomics, John Cena, the Doctor Thugonomics guy, the rapper, and man, that was a whole eye opener for me. I had no idea about that either, and I was like, this is awesome. Like this guy is just a dick. He's funny. So
So did you
yeah,
start
that's
watching before or after he was like did you start watching when he was rapping or after he stopped rapping?
No,
rapping?
no, no. Yeah, it was way, way after. He was the face of the company at the time. He was like,
Oh, it's like the early
goody goody.
2000s type deal, or like the
Yep,
2010s or whatever.
yep. Like 2000, I think 8, 2009. That's when I started getting into it more.
Yeah, that's about the same time I started, really.
Right, right.
Damn. So, so one thing that Legendary Backyard Wrestling has going for it, and has been making it your company a little popular, is the 24/7 stuff that you do. So let's talk about how you got into wanting to do the 24/7 stuff. What's the story behind all that?
So I mean, it's just it's the same exact content or complex as they do on WETV when they first introduced the belt, and then the concept of it. I was like, oh, that's kind of a nice idea. I know that's what the hardcore title used to be back in the day. But I guess I never really thought of it as being like a 24/7 belt. But when they made a belt and called it literally the 24/7 belt,
I mean, the design is god awful, but
oh, it's horrible. But I understand why it's horrible, and it's because it's a meaningless title that gets passed around left and right. I get it. I mean, I think they could have made it look a little better, definitely.
I feel like they could have done like another concept, like kind of like brought like how we had like the hardcore title, but then the hardcore title had 24/7 rules.
Right.
I think WWE should have made like another like secondary title, then just gave it 24/7 rules. I think that would have been
Yeah.
more like. Because like when you see like people like Jeff Hardy or like legends running
Hmm.
after that title, it's just like see like if Jeff
Honestly.
Hardy was running after like the hardcore title, it wouldn't be as bad, compared to him running after the fucking 24/7 title. But that's just my opinion.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. 100%.
But
Um,
back to your story about doing the 24/7.
but yeah, it's just basically the same thing. So I had bought in the replica, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just do stupid, funny little acts, whether they make sense or not. Let's just do them, and we did.
I mean, I
We
think you're
have
the
them in the most
only.
ridiculous places.
Yeah, I think you're the only backyard wrestling company that does the 24 like that does 24/7 stuff. I know here in FBW, um, I tried. We had the FBW 24/7 title. Um, man, what year was that? 2019, early
Oh, nice.
2020. Yeah, but it was just hard to like film because like I wanted to like film in public and really make it like because like I feel like for
Yeah.
something like that you got to go film in crazy places and stuff.
Right.
Um, but nobody really it became a hassle or whatever. I remember one time we tried filming out in a shopping parking lot. It was like a little shopping center or whatever, and some dude just fucking like stopped right. We were recording too, right in the middle of it. And he fucking messed up the whole take, and
Oh.
he just like parked like stopped his car right in front of us and was just staring at us like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" They didn't say a word, and then he drove off. We're like, "You stopped just to stare at us and ruined our whole
Yeah.
fucking take." God damn.
You gotta fucking love that, huh?
Yeah, it was so annoying. I think that was like the downfall that everybody saw. Like filming in public is not going to be an option. But where are some of
Yeah.
the more crazier spots that you guys filmed some 24/7 stuff at?
Um. So we filmed a match. Um. And so there's I shouldn't say a big city. I mean, it's big for North and South Dakota, but Sioux Falls. It's a really big city in the Dakotas, and they have it's in the name. It's Sioux Falls. They have a whole falls scenery you can go check out, and it's actually really nice. We filmed something there right in front of the waterfall, and I mean, there's people walking around all over the place, and they were staring. It was super funny. But it's great. I think that's the like most crazy. I mean, we've done things too in like parks. We've done something in the mall. I think we've done some in a few stores here and there. I think I can't remember. It's been a long time. We were gonna do one actually. I took a trip. I think last summer we took a trip to Yellowstone, and we were gonna do one next to Old Faithful. But yeah, everyone exactly that. Like they backed out. They couldn't do it. There was so many people, and I was like, all right, that's fine. I don't want to push it on you. And so, unfortunately, we just didn't get to it. But um, yeah, it'd be like fun stuff like that.
So what would you say is the biggest struggle in trying to film out in public for stuff like that, and what is your advice for people to actually get stuff like that done in public?
Um, the biggest issue with that is, definitely you're gonna get looked at. You're gonna get, people are gonna be like, what the fuck are these guys doing, man? You're gonna be looked at as one of the weird people.
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
and something that you got to do if you're very into it, just gotta look past it. You gotta let it go. You're gonna get looked at. You're gonna do it, and it's hey, whatever. And if you want to check out our YouTube channel.
I
We've
mean, because
actually had a few
what's
people
the
ask about it
worst?
too.
What's the worst that can happen? I mean, besides doing it
Right.
in like an area that has like security and like you can get the cops called on you. But I mean, really,
Sure.
is a random bystander really gonna call the cops?
No. Well,
Probably.
actually,
Oh, well,
we
maybe
actually had
actually
the
it
cops
it
called on us a
depends.
few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's hear a little bit about that.
So we done one at a park. We done one in a bank parking lot. That one was a bad idea on our part because it was in the middle of the night. We
Oh
were dressed
no.
up in blacks, wearing hoodies and masks, and it just
Jeez.
in a bank parking lot. It doesn't look good. To somebody who doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
and a bunch of people just fighting each other there. Yeah, it really doesn't look bad, or it doesn't look good at all. So, I had the cops called there. We done one at a park at night. Had the cops called there. We done one in a parking lot at night, and a pickup drove by, like really slowly, because I mean there was three guys in hoodies beating each other with kendo sticks. It looks legit,
Huh.
and they called the cops. And I mean there was like 8, 9 cops searching
Oh
around the
no.
area, spotlights and everything. We ran away. We hid. I mean it's funny. It was a
So
good
did
adrenaline rush.
so did you guys like saw that truck and like immediately said, yeah, something bad's about to happen? You guys dipped, or did you guys wait up and finish your little video?
Well, we seen the truck, and yeah, we had an idea, like, all right, something's definitely gonna happen. But we finished it. We finished our video. It was almost done anyway. It wasn't too long. It was like I don't know, like a minute and a half is what we filmed really,
Uh
and
huh.
all that happened in that quick span. But like it's like literally as soon as we get the pinfall, and then we ended the video there, we heard sirens in the very near distance, and I was like, oh shit. All right, that's for us. We know,
He
and
said, "We
so
know it." So did you guys
we
like?
hightailed it.
Did you guys try to hide out for a bit, or did you just say, "Fuck it, we're gonna just book it home and hope they don't stop us"?
Well, the place that we were actually staying at the time was like just across the street, about a block up,
Oh,
and
so
so we
you
just
guys just hightailed it.
yep, we ran it there. But the thing was though is that it had like huge windows in the living room
Uh
with
huh.
no shades or nothing. Like there was nothing to there, and so we're all just sitting in there, and we weren't trying to hide it at all. Like if we were gonna get in trouble, whatever. So we're just all looking at the windows, like all 4, 5, 6 of us, as 8 cops are passing by, looking, shining their lights through the windows and then through the alleyways. And I'm sure that
Everybody
they
hit
knew
the
that was
ground.
us. Yeah,
Everybody hit the ground, slammed the floor. They'll pass by. Nah, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Well, like, what is a cop gonna say? Like,
right.
realistically, just probably like, "Oh, don't do that again." I know.
Yeah. Yep.
When I lived with my parents and I filmed over there for FBW, on that little back road that we would film, because there's like a little like behind our backyard, or like
Hmm.
our like actual backyard, there's like a little like plot of land, and then there's like a little like dirt road. If you watch some of like the older FBW stuff, well, at the end of that road, like a sheriff lives down there in the little
Oh,
woods in a little like trailer. And I mean, like he's stopped us by, he's passed by a couple times, like during FBW, you know, and
sure.
I mean, he's cool about it. I mean, it's just don't kill each other.
Right. Yep.
I ain't trying to do a homicide case right now, but
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
I
And
mean,
those are the chill ones too.
yeah, for sure. And I know another area that we filmed was also in that neighborhood. At the end of the road, there's like a little cul-de-sac, and there's a little patch of land, right? And we would film up there, and like mine, like the neighbors and the people who lived down there near the cul-de-sac, they were always cool. I mean, like technically, we were just wrestling out in public, and
Right, right.
nobody ever called the cops on us or anything.
Well,
Um,
hell yeah.
yeah, but nah, I mean, some cops, could be dicks, and but what's the worst? Like, what laws are you breaking? Beating up each
Right.
other, you see, like what I tried doing when we would do the 24/7 stuff is the day that we were filming in that parking lot, right? And some dude, which we filmed it at like noon, like dead center, like
Hmm.
like there was
Like
people
that's the
coming.
rush.
Yeah. The parking lot was fairly dead. It wasn't like a busy, center, but
I'm
I mean,
sure.
like what I like to do is like I try to make the camera guy obvious that we're filming something, and I try to make like the wrestling title obvious too. So if like people stop by, like come by and see like what we're doing, they would see a camera, see a
Hmm.
wrestling belt, and kind of be like, that's probably some wrestling. They're not actually
Right.
hurting. But some people are Karens and are mentally, just not there and just
Oh,
don't
I
think
get
about
that.
wrestling. But
Yep. See, we actually had a pickup one we used to have at the old our second location. Um, we used to have we put the trampoline in the front yard, right? And so we were battling out on there. We had a match between Nate Dogg and Chris Aruda. It was for the U.S. title, and it was a hardcore match. So we were, it got taken off the trampoline. They were using freaking um, sheetrock. They were using kendo sticks, chairs. There was a for sale sign for the house next door to us. He threw them into that sign. They used trees and everything. It was nuts. It was fun. And there was a pickup that drove by at the time that he got a piece of uh, um, fuck, I can't remember what it is, but he got a piece of whatever it was hit over the top of the head. Nate Dogg did, right, and this
uh,
car or this pickup like stopped on the corner. Like he quickly whipped it and pulled off, but then he saw that there was a referee, and then he saw like a camera guy, like you were saying, and and then he just slowly drove off. So I think he kind of understood. Okay, that's not like legit. They're not killing each other.
yeah,
So I
nah,
definitely understand that.
yeah, no, it sucks when people just don't understand, especially like when you're making it obvious it's backyard wrestling and it's wrestling, it's like WWE type shit, and they still just interrupt and then fuck your production up, and then you got to
Right,
restart. It's so annoying.
right.
Um, so I get a lot of. Let's talk about something that what do you call it? A lot of people mention is your replica titles. So have you ever thought about getting like custom legendary backyard wrestling belts, or you guys just want to stick to the WWE replicas?
So yes, I'm not exactly 100% sure when or if, but yeah, that's something actually like during one of the team meetings or whatever you want to call it, we had talked about it. We were like, I wonder if maybe we could all pitch in together and get like a really cool looking replica design for like a world title maybe or something. And we all kind of like agreed and oh yeah, that'd be cool. But so like we have agreement on it. It's just actually getting to it and then doing it
Yeah, because
because
I know
it's
they're cheaper than because the one I got from Brigade was I think 150, and then
really
yeah, it's 150. It comes in a couple designs, and then you can add what logo you want on like the front and then the side
sure.
plates or whatever. But it's all black, like black. You can't have color to it. But there's multiple designs, and then if you just want a normal custom one without no special logos, I think it's 120, 125.
Sure.
Yeah, so they're pretty cheap. I
Oh,
mean, there's other sites obviously that are more. That's like the cheapest Brigade. A lot of companies use it because like they're cheap and reliable. Because like
right.
150 for a custom belt with your logo on it. I mean, you know.
Right. Yeah. No, actually, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. So let's talk about how many replica titles do you have, and how did you get into collecting them?
Oh, I believe I'm at 9 replicas right now.
At 9.
Um,
They're all WWE ones, or do you got from other companies?
I have most of them are WWEs. I have one NXT and one AEW.
All right, nice. What would you say is your most favorite out of all of them?
Uh, honestly, I mean the AEW.
There's one correct answer. I'm gonna see if you're gonna say it.
Well, I'm gonna say this. So the AEW World Title, I just got that one. That one's my newest one. I absolutely love it. I think it looks great, and that's on my radar for being one of my favorites, but it's not. My favorite, 110% without a doubt, is the spinner belt.
All right,
That's
all
my
right.
absolute favorite.
Answered correctly and wisely. Yeah, no, the spinner is the best title ever.
Yep. Yep.
Which it's surprising actually people agree with me because that title is supposedly among a lot of people regarded as the worst title ever.
Yep. I think they just don't like the. Honestly, I think it's just the spin feature
The,
that gets
the
a lot of hate.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing.
Honestly.
I remember
Honestly.
back in like SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 when when someone like came out with that title and it gave you the option to spin
To
it.
spin it.
Dude, I would
Yeah.
fucking spam that button down the whole entrance, dude. It's so cool.
Hell yeah. Dude, I was the same way, man.
Everyone thinks the winged eagle is the best, but I think that's like a second. Nothing beats the spinner.
Yeah, no, no. Spinner's my favorite, for sure.
Like the
Even
wing
when
the wing
whenever
eagle
that was
from like
John Cena's belt in my opinion. So whenever John Cena won a different title that wasn't that, like when he won the world heavyweight title, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. But like that's not his belt.
and then come on, the spinner looked good on everybody. Let's be honest.
That's honestly that's what I'm saying, bro. Like no one agrees. They're like it was
Everyone
only
thinks it
meant for
looks like a
John
toy,
Cena, but
but come on, don't look like a toy. I mean,
I think Randy and Punk looked amazing with
or
the spinner belt.
Jeff Hardy too, but
Jeff, oh
sadly,
my
I
god,
mean he
yes.
only held it looked perfect on Jeff, but Jeff only held it for like a month.
Even less than that, I think Rey Mysterio, he only held it for like an hour, and it was a replica that he was holding too. By the
Yeah,
way,
which it was so obvious. Like
yeah,
you
dude,
can tell like the replica spinners and like the actual like TV replica, it looks so different. You can tell.
it's such a pancake compared to the other one, the real one.
Yeah, and
Like it's like
it just
shit.
looked like not the real like
Yeah,
metal and like it just looked like stiff and everything.
yeah, it
That's
was
not the belt.
so obvious. I could tell. I was like, oh, there's something off about that. When I was like, I don't know, 11, 10, whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean it's so obvious. So, so
But
you're into
I
belt,
wish I wish Ray would have held it for so much longer, dude. I gotta say.
dude, for sure, for sure. So you're into title collecting. So, what is your favorite title that you do not currently own?
Ooh, dang. Oh, tough question. Well, okay, so like, I really, really, really want the World Heavyweight Championship.
The
I want
big
the big
gold.
gold,
Yep.
but I'm really picky on it. Like I know a lot of people love the WCW version, the flat version. My favorite is the era of it being in about 2011 when it had the red backing
Uh huh.
and it was nice and curved and it was 3D. Like that was my favorite. And so it's actually kind of hard to find that because the one that they sell on the shop,
Uh huh.
it has the red backing, but it's a pancake. Like I mean, I know it's not exactly the most thickest belt, but it's like so thin, it doesn't look good. At least in my opinion. I mean, okay, it does, but it doesn't look like it could be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I want to find that belt. I want to find the right looking form of that belt, and I want to get that. So that's close to the top of the list. I think I really, really badly. I want the white strapped Intercontinental. That's a beaut.
Low key, the Intercontinental title that is like now or whatever, I low key like.
I do too. I think it's great.
People think it's so hideous. I mean, is it better than the white strap? Probably not, but
No,
I like the Intercontinental now, to be honest.
you know what? I don't think the Intercontinental title has ever had a horrible design.
I mean the one before the white strap from like what was it? It was like 99 to 11 or some shit like that. That one kind
Hmm.
of like the oval one. It kind of looked weird, you know.
Sure,
But I
sure.
mean, yeah, no, you have a point. Because then before that one, it was like the classic one, with the white strap, but it just had a
Yep.
black strap.
Right,
So,
right.
so what is the next title you're looking to buy?
Yeah. Yeah. Not sure. Well, I think if I had to pick a safe bet, I might go with the white stripe intercontinental. To be honest with you,
You know what title I low key love?
what's that?
The cruiserweight title from like the current like the new one, the one
Oh yeah,
yeah the purple strapped one or the black strap that they brought for NXT.
I think that one. Yeah, I think that one looks great. I'm not a fan of the OG cruiserweight title, to be
Yeah,
honest.
the one from like what was it 01 to 07 I think something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I didn't care for that design.
I mean that
Yeah,
title wasn't really relevant I guess you can kind of say.
for sure. Yeah, but the new one, yeah, that one's great. Looks great.
So you said you didn't really know about the current scene of backyard wrestling when you first started doing backyard wrestling. You only knew about the OG stuff. So when did you start finding out about the current scene of backyard wrestling?
Well, so I guess I kind of lied a little bit if you count. So I mean, it is
Lying on
technically
my damn
backyard wrestling.
podcast. What the hell?
It is technically backyard wrestling, but Grimm's Toy Show (GTS). I
Okay, polarizing.
watched I watched the shit out of that. Right. Um, and Grimm was always awesome. He was a great. He's just a great creator. Like I loved everything that he does on GTS. I still watch it from time to time from now. But after I was already doing the backyard wrestling stuff, I was watching his shit, and I was like, I wonder who else does backyard wrestling. Like I wonder who else does it as well. That's not as big as him. So I just literally looked up backyard wrestling on YouTube. Haven't done this before since I started, and yeah, I came across what was it? I believe. Oh fuck.
Extreme Showdown Wrestling. ESW. That pops up a lot when you search up backyard wrestling.
Maybe and that might have been what I seen. I don't know. I actually honestly I can't remember what company I started watching, but I was going through different companies, and then I even did the same thing on Instagram, and then that's when I found the Nexus, and I was like, oh, I learned about it a little bit, and then that's when I had contacted you about possibly joining, and then the rest is history.
So So from the backyard wrestling that you've seen going around in the Nexus and non-Nexus companies, what would you say are some of your favorite backyard wrestling companies out there,
So
and why? Just to make it a little harder.
so when we first did Uprising, um, the leading up to that event was is actually really. I mean, I'm sure it's exciting to everybody, but it was really exciting to me.
I think
And
you, if I'm not mistaken, I think you opened the show. I think
I can't. I think so. Yeah. Is it? No. Wait.
either that or you went on right before the main event. I'm
Yeah.
not
It
too
was.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It was something like that. Um. But leading up to that, I actually really started to get into CPW. Actually,
Oh, from
the
New Jersey.
yeah, and I enjoyed what they were doing. I liked um that they didn't have they didn't have a ring. They didn't use a trampoline at least often,
They
and they
they
just
they
did it at
make
the
they make
park.
wrestling on
Yeah, like
on a playground look cool. And
yeah,
props to them for taking bumps on the concrete. I would never do
dude,
that.
that shit, man, that fucking yeah, it looks like it tingles a little bit in the back.
Yo, for real.
But yeah, I liked what they were doing. And I really enjoyed. I really liked what they were doing. I thought it was great. JJ Stevens, man, what a guy! He can really sell anything, honestly. Uh, so I really liked them. CPW was up there. Um, ETW as well. I liked what they were doing with Striker.
Okay, from
I thought that was
Australia.
great.
Yep.
Yep, like that's crazy. Like they're from Australia. Yeah, like holy shit. They're doing it over there too. Like that's nuts. And so I think those are the two major companies. But I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I checked out everyone that was featured on Uprising, FBW, HFW, uh, I believe UWA was as well, right?
Yeah, Jake Howell's company.
Yep. And I checked out everyone's company, man. I was like, oh man, this shit's great. Like everyone just does this. Like it's so cool.
So, if you can travel, what companies would you like to go to, and who would you want to do a program with?
Well, I'd love to. So I want to go everywhere. So I'd love to go down to Florida. I'd love to go down to FBW, and I would love to take on Aries in his last year of
Yeah, for
wrestling.
sure. Feel the curse of Aries.
Yeah. I love, like I said, actually CPW just did an invasion storyline. I'd love to do something like that with CPW,
Yeah, you want to take
even if it
bumps
was
on that
just.
concrete?
It would suck. It would suck, but I think I could handle it for I
He
don't
said
know, a
he said I
few
can
shows.
he said I can probably handle it for like a minute or two, but I'm used to that 24/7 title stuff, so I can do that.
Right, right. Um, I like to take on JJ Stevens. I think he's the him or damn it, DA. I can't remember his name. He's also from
Devin Adams.
CPW. Yes, he's. Oh my God, what a guy! What a beast.
You know who's underrated from that company?
Who?
Brazy Scar.
Yep,
I
yep.
feel like I feel like if he polished up his character and made like a more of a defined character, I think he can really be something.
I agree, 100%. I agree. Yeah. And actually, funny you bring that up. There was our first pay per view, if you will, Revolution. It was last year in for the fourth. CPW actually sent the match over, and they put it on our channel for us, and it was JJ Stevens versus Brazy Scar, and fuck man, what a match, dude! Like
Oh
it was,
yeah,
and it was long too. It was like I think like close to 18 minutes, and it was a fucking banger, dude. I was so happy. I was like, dude, you guys are awesome, bro. Um, but yeah, so CPW is great. I want to go down to HFW. I want to face Gunny.
I mean, I'm
Gunshot's
st-
the man.
I mean, he's still hiding from the curse of Ares, and he's just
Yo.
delaying his punishment, which is just gonna make his ass beating worse when he finally comes down to Florida. But I
Mm,
saw that he just I guess signed a deal or something. Hey, let's talk about the little partnership you got going on with Gunshot. So what's that all
sure.
about?
So one day, I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was me to Gunshot or if it was Gunshot to me. I don't remember who. Honestly, I actually can't remember
He
who.
said that's all them damn chair shots and everything.
Yeah, concussions. But one of us had contacted the other, and we're like, hey, you know what? Wouldn't it be cool if? And then so we were talking about the 24/7 title, right? And so he's in Indiana, I'm in North Dakota, very long distance from each other. And I was like, well, maybe there's a way that we could do something with the 24/7 title, if you were to have the title, is that we could have somebody here, they could win the title, right? And maybe they're in like a black hoodie or whatever you have you, so you can't really see their face per se. But they beat somebody, they win the title, and then Gunshot or somebody from HFW could beat somebody in a black hoodie with the 24/7 title over there, and then it would kind of continue on. You know what I mean? Like, uh, oh, so it looks legit. Like it looks like, oh, they beat that same looking person that beat someone from over here, and so now they really do have the 24/7 title. You know what I mean?
That's
So
actually
we,
a very interesting way to work that out.
yeah, it could, if it worked out perfect. Like if it worked out in the right way, it would be perfect. It would be hard to do, but yeah, it would be great.
So then, how would you guys get the title back? Is Gunshot actually planning on taking a trip to the legendary arena?
I think so. When I couldn't tell you. And obviously, I'm not gonna force anyone to rush or do anything like that. So, whenever gunshot, I mean, I wish I could travel myself. I really do, but I mean, you understand, kids and family. It's fucking
Yeah.
so tough to travel. and
Yeah.
just to afford it even in the time,
Well,
it
not only
doesn't always
that,
match up.
if you have the money, you take the time off to spend the money on the trip, and then now you're shit out of luck.
Hmm.
You wasted all your
Yep.
damn money because
Right.
don't get paid for doing this stuff.
Right. Exactly.
I mean,
Unfortunately.
yeah. I mean that's cool though. You're working out with a Gunshot. He's been through a lot.
Yeah. No. For sure. Oh my goodness. I can't. I don't know if you've seen or not, but on the on Instagram, man, one of the promos that Gunshot sent over for us,
I know.
him and
The
the Law were going at it, dude,
Yeah.
and it seemed like it was getting for real personal.
I have a shirt coming out. It's gonna be on the T Public shop. It's gonna be don't be a fuck, have fun. That's my new message on BYW. People better buy my damn shirt. Spread the message.
That's simple and amazing.
That man, dude, Captain Law and Gunshot, dude. Their history goes way back, and I'm pretty sure the whole community knows about it. But now it's just bullshit at this point. They need to just cut it out. If I'm not mistaken, I think Law started Captain Law. He started the argument in the chat.
I do believe so.
Yeah. So what else companies you want to go to and travel to?
So actually, so on the 3D Death Drop, which is me and a couple guys from the Nexus. It's Louis, um, Connor from KWA, Simon, and Tommy. We all do like watch alongs over here and there for AEW pay per views, WWE pay per views, Dynamite, SmackDown, Raw, all that kind of stuff. Um, and Connor, he just started out from KWA. He's one of the guys that I recently recruited to the Nexus. He just started out. His company is very, very, very new. I think probably one of the newest ones in the Nexus. And
Yes,
I would
I
love,
think he's the newest joinee.
yeah, I would love to do something with him and his company to help them out, get them going.
See, and
Um,
you not only do you have that John Cena vibe, you have that like MMA fighter vibe, and he actually does boxing, so that's going to be a very interesting clash of
right.
styles.
Yeah, for sure. And man, his boxing stuff is insane, man. We talk about all this stuff all the time, and like it's crazy, man. He might not win all the time, but the shit that he does to train, get prepared for it, and then his thought process going in and out of the fights is nuts. And I give 110 percent of my respect to Connor and everything that he does for his boxing career.
For
Honest to God.
for sure, for sure. So you joined the Nexus, right? So what do you say is one of the best things that has happened to you and or your company since joining the Back at Wrestling Nexus?
Having all the help and support from everyone. It's been great. It's been helpful. And then getting to do things with everyone. Like I said, I love the collab shows. Um, I love even if it's not exactly like everything from the collab shows to just, oh hey, would you be able to make, I don't know, a promo for me, or like even just like could you make a cool uh thumbnail for me, or like a cool new logo or something like that. Like there's
Yeah,
always usually somebody in the Nexus, whether it's you or it's Louie or it's Gunshot or it's Connor or whoever. Someone's always willing to help, and I've tried to help myself with a few people. Like MBW helped, or they asked for um some help with a new logo, and me and my fiance, we made one for them. Dalton Skull was asking for help for something. I don't remember what it was. I honestly I can't remember, but and I didn't unfortunately get to helping them. I think somebody else might have gotten to him, but I was gonna try and see what I could do. Because it's just nice that everyone just kind of helps everyone out.
yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean that's what the Nexus is all about. It's all about bringing companies together and stuff. When the Back at Wrestling community is just so toxic, but
Yep,
But
definitely.
before we wrap things up here on the Undisputable podcast, what are some goals that you want to accomplish in Legendary Back at Wrestling and just in Back at Wrestling in general? What are some goals that you have for yourself and your company?
Well, so it's gonna be tough for a few reasons. But the biggest goal that everyone else and myself and LBYW have is by December 31st, 2022, 11:59 p.m., just before New Year's, by the end of this year, we want to break 1K. We want to make it there. And right now we're at 780 subscribers. And it's a long shot. And we're almost into the 7th month of the year. It's going to be really tough, but that's our goal. And like this month of June, man, we grinded so much uh content. Like it's crazy. Like I think we had 3 or 4 uh episodes come out in just this month alone, which is I think that's the most we've ever had since we started in a month span. I mean, I know that doesn't sound exactly like a lot, but we don't get together until every maybe 2 3 weeks because either we like to just take time off or we have our own stuff personally to do. So, but with that said, the content that we were able to get out in this month of June was great, and I appreciate everyone that was willing to help. So that's our goal is to grind and get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Um, that's the main goal for the broad of our company. The broad idea for our company. For me personally, though, um, like it's just sticking with this. Like it's gonna be hard because last night, I had just spoke with someone, and I was able to get um into so like you and like Louis and like Striker and Connor. Everyone's trying to become a pro wrestler, and I finally was able to talk to somebody and get into the local indie scene
Oh,
with
really?
EWI starting sometime next month.
Oh, so that was the picture you posted on your Instagram.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
was wondering what that was. So you're gonna be making the journey to pro wrestling. So what does that mean for the future of legendary back in wrestling?
See, that's the thing is that's going to be so tough to do both, and I knew that going in. It's not like it's news to me. I knew that going in. So I'm 100% willing to give everybody, like, if I have to basically cut myself out, uh, whether it's all the way or just some of the way, I'm willing to let everyone just take over and do your thing, uh, without me there. Like I still want LBOW to go on as long as it can. Like actually, this July will be 2 years, 2 years old.
So on the roster, out of everybody on the roster, who do you have in mind of giving over the company? If that's the direction you have to go to.
Well, as much as I hate the son of a bitch, the Wilster, he's actually our current president right now. He took control after I had to give it up, pretty much. I wouldn't mind him, staying and running the business. I wouldn't mind him doing his thing, as long as he treats it well, of course. Um, but to somebody who's been in there since day one, or at least for a long time, even though he's retired, I wouldn't mind Chris Aruda taking over and you know taking over the company, doing his thing, and leading it, owning it, running it as his own.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
So so let's talk about a couple more things before we end up this episode. For the fans who have never seen your content before, what is your most favorite match that you recommend new viewers go check out?
Of myself, or
Yeah,
just in
of yourself. I mean, you,
of
you you
myself.
can mention like the best match you think overall for the company is, but I mean, for yourself first, what do you think is your best match?
Sure. I've tried thinking about this question before, and it's been hard to answer because, like, I don't know. I have quite a few good ones in my opinion that I think it's really tough to pick one, but I think so. Me versus Brendan from Uprising 2021. That was a good match. I don't know if that's exactly my personal favorite, but if I had to pick a really good match to show anybody, I think that one's a really good traditional form of backyard wrestling. Like in a way, like it's weapons, it's wrestling, it's moves, it's on the trampoline, it's off the trampoline. Like it looks like something that, oh, you were to type in just backyard wrestling and you were to go for, myself, I think that would be good. Um, Me and him, Uprising 2021, that was a good one. If I had to pick one more for myself, I think probably, um, I think me versus Chris Aruda in our first match. It was actually really short. It was like, I don't know, like or like 4 or 5 minutes long. It was actually when we first started changing how we did LBYW. It was a good little transition into that, and I think we put up a great match. And so that's actually one of my personal favorites as well. So yeah.
So, what would you think is the best match in company's history?
Oh man, I think the second match between the Psychotic Freak and White Viper is up there to be one of the best matches. I think it's one of the longest matches in terms of our new format
Uh,
uh, that we've had out, and I think it's a really good example of like storytelling and wrestling, and so that's up there. White Viper Psychotic Freak number 2. That's probably up there as my number one favorite. There's also Nate Dogg and Chris Aruda in a hardcore match for the U.S. title that they did last summer, I believe it was. And man, that was a good match. That's actually the one match I was just telling you about earlier about how the pickup thought that something was going on, so they pulled over and then they
yeah.
they saw the camera on the ref shirt. That was that match actually, and so that's a really good one. So I think those two matches are what come to my mind.
So before we end off this podcast, I know I've said that so many times. What is one message that you want the backyard wrestling community to hear from you before we end off this podcast?
Um,
You,
Even though it's going to sound corny and whatever, and I've only been in this game for 2 years, and a lot of people, much like yourself, have been in far longer than I have. Um, I just want to say that it's been an absolute pleasure being able to either work with anyone or talk with anyone in the community, and I hope to stay a part of it for a very long time, whether I'm actually wrestling or not. I do plan on still being a part of it in some sort of fashion.
so you're going pro starting about next month. You said you've been doing backyard wrestling for 2 years. Um,
Mhm.
so what's your socials and where can fans who want to check out more of you find you at?
Okay, so you can follow myself on Instagram at CJ underscore Jundt 99. You can follow the Legendary Backyard Wrestling on Instagram at ND underscore backyard underscore wrestling. You can check out Legendary Backyard Wrestling on YouTube. It's exactly that, Legendary Backyard Wrestling. We also have a backstage channel, which is anything that's kind of behind the scenes. It's like interviews, podcasts, unboxings, reactions, predictions, or just like talking anything that kind of breaks kayfabe. Basically, that goes on to the backstage channel, and that channel is called LBYW Backstage. That's like our secondary channel. That's just for, like I said, anything that kind of breaks kayfabe.
Yeah.
That's where everything goes. So if it's not the actual wrestling, which goes on the main channel, that's the channel that you'll find all the other behind the scenes kind of stuff, bloopers, what have you. Like making the 24/7 stuff, man. We mess up a lot, so there's a lot of bloopers that goes on there. And then after so many times rack up, put it into one video, and then you post it. I think I have 3 blooper videos out so far.
Look at you. I mean, you're not on the level of the Messiah of the art, so of course you're making bloopers all the time because you're always messing up your damn content. So wait, real quick, how did you choose the name Legendary Backyard Wrestling?
So, like I said, we were just backyard wrestling. Didn't know that was the broad term. And then after I'd gotten with the Nexus, and I learned from everyone that, oh, that's just a broad term. We got to change it. Like, we have to change it. We can't just be BYW. We can't do that. So I was actually talking with my lovely fiance, Destiny. I was like, actually, by the way, we're scheduled to be married um, next weekend, actually, which is
Oh
great. I'm
shit!
very excited.
Congrats, congrats.
Thank you, thank you. I was actually talking with her, and I was like, so I got to change the name. And she's like, why? And I was like, well, because just backyard wrestling it's just a broad term. Like, I can't, we can't have the company just be called backyard wrestling. And she's like, okay. And so we were thinking, we were talking, coming up with a few ideas here and there. And we were driving at the time, I think we are going to work actually, or coming back from. And she's like, well, we're in North Dakota, and North Dakota, the like saying or whatever, like its nickname is called Legendary. And so I was like, that's perfect. I was like, unless we go on a vacation, we're just strictly based in North Dakota, and
Yeah.
that's great. So it's like it gives us a little taste of, it puts North Dakota in the title in a way,
Uh
in
huh.
which, don't get me wrong, as much as this state sucks because it's very boring, it's my home, and it'll always be my home.
For
And
sure.
so I gotta have respect for my home, and so I feel like it's good to represent North Dakota in a way. So, legendary, you put that in there, and it could mean more than just that too. It could just mean, how awesome. you know.
For
So
sure.
it's
For
a double
sure.
meaning. So, but she came up with legendary, I was like, that's perfect. So my fiance, soon to be wife, is the one who came up with our name, and that's awesome
I
to me.
probably should have asked you that question way back when we first started talking about, the company. But see, here on the FBW Undisputable podcast, to be honest, I just wing it. To be honest, like
Right.
I have like a basic outline, but I don't plan shit for this podcast. So fuck
No,
it.
yeah,
We do things
this
my
one.
way on here.
Yeah, no, this is great, man.
So
Actually, I do have a question.
what's up?
And so
Taking over the host position on my damn podcast.
so here's the thing. I don't want to make it seem like I'm putting you on the spot. So you can obviously say no
No,
110% if you don't want to.
no,
Okay, there you
no. I'm just playing. Yeah, what's up?
go. So if you want to say no, that's cool, and I get that and I respect that. So here's a question. Do you think there's a way that, so obviously this is going to go on your channel, this is going to get posted. Do you think there's also a way that you'd be able to upload this to our backstage channel as well?
Uh,
Or is this something that you just strictly want to just keep on yours?
Nah, man. I mean, I mean, you're in the video, or video. You're on the podcast. I mean, if you wanna upload this on your channel, be like, hey, yo. I mean, just obviously like just be like, yo, this is the FBW's podcast, not the CJ's podcast. But no, I don't care.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, yeah, no. If you wanna upload it, chop it up, clip it up, I'm shit. I mean, it'll only be probably like $700, per minute that you use on your channel. So since we're at like 60 minutes, what's 60 times 700?
Oh shit. What, 36,000?
Nah, man, it's cool. It's cool.
Okay, cool. I 100% appreciate that, bro.
But ladies and gentlemen, backyard wrestling fans, this has been the Messiah of the Yard, Anthony Aries, the host of the FBW Undisputable podcast. And you guys may have thought we went a whole episode without shitting on Chris Dynamite, who is supposed to be the co-host. No, you're wrong. Fuck him for still not being on this damn podcast.
Fuck him.
Thank you. We got to. You know what? I might make a shirt like that. Fuck Chris Dynamite for not doing the fucking podcast anymore, bitch ass. But now this has been Anthony Aries with CJ Jundt, the alpha of only legendary back at wrestling, because I'm the Messiah. I top everybody. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Anything you want to say to the viewers before I cut you off, brother?
Subscribe to Legendary Backyard Wrestling, subscribe to Florida Backyard Wrestling, and subscribe to the Backyard Wrestling Nexus. Peace.
Amen.